Hey, good morning and welcome to our tessellation project. Here in front of me I have the kind of directions to get you started on making tessellation in GeoGebra. And over here is the program, GeoGebra. You just start it up and it should open up like this. If you have your axes showing, it comes from clicking this button, and your grid showing, it comes from clicking this button, all of which is underneath the graphics little area there. So you can toggle it on, turn them off. I would make a blank screen here, and you can just click to move it around. And if we look at the first step, it says, 1, use the regular polygon tool to construct an equilateral triangle. And they have a visual there. So right here under polygon, there's an arrow. And if you click that arrow, it will bring down all the kind of polygons you can make. And we're going to make a regular one. And you just click anywhere in the grid, and you're going to define the first length that you want. And a triangle has 3 vertices, so I'll make it 3. And there we go, we have a polygon. If you're a little like a neat freak, you can hit escape and then click on the little mouse icon, and that will let you move these letters around. I don't even like that it has that poly there, so what I can do is I can click the polygon and I can right click, and that show label, I can click it off. Now there's no label there. Alright, so the next thing is use the point tool as indicated right there to construct points D and E on segment AB. And let's just go ahead and do that. And they have a nice visual there. I'm not going to follow it along perfectly. I'm going to spice it up a little bit, I guess. So A, B, C. Next point will be D. I'm going to make that pretty close. And E, I'm going to make right about there. And then it says point F in the interior of the triangle. They kind of have it midway in between. All right. I'll make another point. I'll just click my point tool and I'll put it over here. See what happens with that. Okay. Okay. So now it says, so we've done step 2. Step 3. Use the rotate object around point by angle tool, and that's defined right there. It's a transformation tool. And what we're going to do is we're going to rotate point D, right, this point right here, around point B, this right there, 60 degrees clockwise. And you're going to repeat this for steps E and F. Let's go ahead and do that. So point, well, we can kind of cheat here. You click all of them, and I think I can hit the rotate. Well, I guess I gotta do it for each one. So rotate point D around point B, 60 degrees clockwise. Point D around point B, 60 degrees clockwise. And it maps onto the triangle because that's a 60-degree angle. You'll repeat that for points E and F. So let's continue that for E. So we'll select the tool, select the point you want to rotate, select the finger rotating around, and that's already put in for us, but we're going clockwise. And then we'll do the same thing for F, clockwise. All right, so we've got our rotations. Okay, so number 4, right-click the interior of the triangle and deselect Show Object. We're going to basically hide the triangle. So you got to hit Escape. See how that's kind of highlighted right there? If you hit Escape, it clears it out to the mouse. And we can just click on the polygon, right-click it, and we're going to hide Show Object, so it disappears. Still got all of our points though. Next, we're going to use the polygon tool to construct all of these letters, and I would suggest following that sequence of A, D, F, E, B, E prime, F prime, D prime, culminating at C. You have it in front of you. I have a copy in front of me. You can just kind of follow along. So this is under regular polygon. We got to change that to polygon. And it says start at A. So we're going to click there to open up the polygon. We're going to go to D next. Then we're going to trace up to F. Make sure it's F and not F prime. Then I think we're going down to E, going over to B, going to E prime, F prime, D prime, and then C. And we have to close out the polygon. So we've hit all of our vertices. Now we just need to go back to the beginning. And I get this shape right here. Without even looking at the next step, I'm going to click the polygon and hide those labels. Or I guess it's sides. So we can click the segments and then show label. There we go, they're gone. And polygon, show label. Just want to clean it up. So theirs looks like that. Mine looks a little bit different. You can customize it any way you want. You can drag things around and do whatever you like with it. If you don't like how you dragged it, you can do edit, undo, which is a shortcut for Control Z. So I don't like that. I'm going to go with my original, and we'll move on. So 6, we're going to rotate the object around point angle tool, 60 degrees. So we're going to click the polygon and we're going to rotate around point B. And that's because this really came from a triangle, and that's a equilateral triangle that was 60 degrees. So if we click the rotate object tool, the polygon, and the point, when we rotate 60 degrees, it will map out perfectly. And you can do this until it fills in the space. So we're just going to kind of repeat that. Now I'm going to click the new thing, I'm going to rotate it 60 degrees clockwise, and I'm just going to keep on doing that. It's always around point B. Boom, boom, boom. Got one more to do, 360 degrees, right? And there we go. Got a hexagon, it looks like. So now they're saying you should color them different colors. This is another place where you can kind of mess around with the colors all you want. I think I know how to do that, so you can read that if you like. But what we'll do is we'll clear out our cursor. We're going to click in each polygon. And then you see in the grid, the graphics looks like this. When you click in the polygon, you're going to have this color tool, and you can click that down, make that red, and that's very light. So you can use this slider to decide how red you want it. So make it like that. And you're just going to go around and do that for each of the shapes, however you like. Toss it blue, purple, purple, and pink. What should we do for the last one? Feel like some, whatever this is. Alright. Got our shape all colored in. So now it's telling us to turn off all of our labels. So maybe I should have waited with that, but I think what I can do is just click on point and then right click it and hit show label. All the labels kind of disappear on us. Oh, and they want us to hide the object too, so we'll do that also. We'll hide everything. We'll hide the objects. All we have are these corner pieces. I'll leave them for now. If you want to get rid of them, you can click it and then hit Control H, and that will hide it. But I'm not sure if that's what we need to do quite yet. Let's see. Yeah, we can turn them all off. Keep on going. We're going to use the midpoint or center tool, illustrated right there. And we're going to construct the midpoint on an outer edge. They're using this like bottom left and top right. I'll use the opposite just to be different. So midpoint is a point, so we're going to go into the points, click that drop down, and find midpoint center. So all you got to do is kind of click on the segment. You can highlight your mouse over it and it'll tell you, hey, that's a segment you're doing. Whereas here, that's a polygon. So I want to hit the segment and it makes the midpoint. And it's just anywhere on that segment and it'll put it right in the middle. The next thing they want us to use is the vector between 2 points. And that's this other symbol right there. And a vector is a form of a segment or a line, so I knew it would be under the lines. Click that drop down and go with vector. And they want us to go from just 1 point to the other, so I guess I'll go from P down to Q. Just make sure it lines up that your vector actually hits Q. There we go, looks good. Then it's going to say we're going to translate the object by that vector. And they want us to translate each of the 6 polygons. So we're going to have to do this translation a couple times. So I want to zoom out a little bit, so I'm going to hit this right here, zoom out, just so I can kind of see everything and watch how it's moving. Translation is a transformation, so we're going to translate by a vector. What you have to do is select the object and then the vector. So that line with an arrow is the vector. And we're going to move this red piece. So we'll click the object, then the vector, and it moves it. And we'll do the object and the vector. Object, vector, and so on. So we do everything. And we have created our first shifted pattern, our first pattern in the tessellation. And now they want us to kind of redo that step, except we're going to make a different vector now. So instead of going across this color red, instead of going across that red vector, we're going to use the midpoint tool and make another vector. So we'll create the midpoints on those 2 sides, use our vector tool. I'm going to bring it down to G. And then we're just going to kind of repeat that step. We're going to translate by a vector. So I'll make this blue about that vector, green about the vector. You're just going to do that until you get everything. If you ever mess up, that's fine. Just hit escape, clear out, recenter, and just repeat the steps. I'm going to click the translate, the red piece, about the vector. And I've translated another one. So it looks like you're just going to do this until you create all the shapes you want. And then you can drag the points to kind of mess around with that tessellation, make it look how you want. And when you get here, when you get all of them created, I would start cleaning up your project. You can click on individual things and then go to, I think it is, well, the shortcut is Control H. So if you click on something and you hit Control H, it will hide it. So I'm going to hide those vectors that I used. I'm going to hide those points I created. And I can select all of them, not by just clicking on them individually. If I hold Control while I click, it lets me select everything. And then if I hit Control H, it will hide all of them. And when you get kind of everything all put together, I would actually save the file. And the way I would save it is, I would, let's see here. I would save it with your name. So, Mr. Elias, Tessellation project. And you can do like versions, like version 1 or whatever, if you want to try out different things. That way, you can kind of practice some different things. So you can turn on all your points. Just right-click the points. Show object. There we go. And then you kind of move these things around. Maybe. You play around with it, you let me know. I hope you enjoy the project, and look forward to see all your work.